Let's take a look at the team lineups for the women, and Anna Godoy is out for the Cheetahs, so they're up against it. Look for Jess Learmonth to add on plenty of points for Tim Don's Eagles. The Rhinos are struggling. They need Katie Zafiris to stand up. The Scorpions need big efforts from Georgia Taylor-Brown and Cassandra Beaugrand, and the Brits need to do the job for the Sharks. Let's have a look at the leaderboard as it stands. And, well, speaking of Brits doing the job, they are 5 in the top 7, split only by Katie Zafiris and Taylor Spivey. Then it goes to Leonie Perriot in 8th, Rachel Klammer in 9th, and Maya Kingma rounding out the top 10.
And we are back in Jersey once again. Not quite as sunny as it was yesterday, but regardless, it is going to be a beautiful swim, and the first of that swim, boy, is absolutely key. Don't forget, a short shoot and jersey points on offer for the first across the mountain line after that swim, and we are underway. Pretty even start across the swim, and it does get a little bit congested. It's better to be on the outside sometimes or on the inside, and it's going to be a really important first couple of 100 metres.
So I think you can see the two Eagles up in the front, Jess Learmonth and Victoria Lopez, setting the pace really early here. I think they're about halfway through, just more than halfway through on the swim. You can see it's stretching out here a lot from these first two boys, and there's quite a lot of congestion at the back. They're heading through to this last boy, very sharp left-hand turn, and now they're heading back towards the pontoon where they're going to exit and climb right up the ramp where they head on back to transition. They want to put the race to Jessie. You can see she's even almost putting in a tiny bit of a gap here, small bit of a gap opening up that just shows how strong she is during the swim segment. And I think from anything going from last weekend from the 2 swim bike run events, this one's going to be very hard. So they definitely want to try and take the short shoot from her in the next couple 100 meters here.
Okay, Learmonth out of the water first, and it's two Eagles up the front too in Lopez, and those two both on 9 swim points, and the first one across the mountain line will pick up the full 5 and become our swim leader going into Malibu in the final round. The important part though, and you guys have both mentioned it, is the short shoot, which of course is a shortcut to be taken on the final run. Jess Learmonth had one back in Munich. She looks like she could have one again unless Victoria Lopez, Georgia Taylor-Brown, Maya Kingma behind her can pick up a really, really quick transition. It's Lopez who gets to her bike first, but Learmonth is so clinical in transition. And there you go. She's out first, and she picks up the short shoot, and that is a huge thing to have in the back pocket. There is another one on offer at the end of the bike, but given her bike prowess, she could take both. There's Georgia Taylor-Brown bridging the gap. Victoria Lopez, Vicky Holland, Maya Kingma were top 5 ahead of Sophie Colwell. Ilaria Zane had a very good swim. Cassandra Beaugrand in 8th position, which is as lofty as she's been across the course of the month so far. What Jess needs to do now is make sure that no one else takes the other short shoot, which comes across the mountain line as they go onto the run. So her job will be to allow Georgie to do some of the work and make sure she crosses the mountain line first and doesn't have that effort negated. And now it's Vicky Holland having a turn on the front for that group. Maya Kingma, they've been behind her bike strength as Taylor Spivey tacks onto the back of that group as well, and they really need to work together. She's behind Ilaria Zane in 7th and 8th position. Crucial part of this race, absolutely. First one across the line picks up the short shoot. The transition is absolutely important, and it looks like it's going to be Jess Learmonth, is it? Yes. So again, not only does she pick it up again, she denies Georgia Taylor-Brown, and Georgia will know that that is a massive blow. We've still got 2 triathlons to go after this, and there is nothing at all behind Georgia Taylor-Brown and Jessica Learmonth except for the fresh air of the Channel Islands. Holland was 8 seconds back with Kingma, Coldwell. Spivey was 13 seconds back the last time they headed out onto the run. We'll see if the gaps have grown. Rachel Klammer, Victoria Lopez has dropped back into 8th position from Stanford and Zane. Simone Ackerman in 18th is at a minute 01. So I think Gillian Sanders has been eliminated from this race.
I think it's important to point out, Will, as well, for anyone just tuning in for the first time to Super League, the athletes swim, bike, run, they don't take a break, hence why we saw the multitasking there on the run, running along probably around about 3:30-kilometre pace whilst putting on their swim hat and their goggles.
You can just see there how much quicker Jess's transition was. She had her spare shoes down there as well. She threw her shoes in the box. She had spare shoes there, so she actually saved a few seconds just on the transition.
And into the water they go for the second time here in Elizabeth Marina in St Helier, Jersey, with a healthy lead over the rest of the field. It's ballooned out there to 14 seconds as here come the rest of the women's field. Holland into the water. Perio had a very good run. Fastest runner in Munich by 3 seconds ahead of Katie Zafiris. Kingma there as well from Colwell. So 3 cheaters all together. Let's hope they work together.
I think Jess is starting to pass Georgia here, and it looks like, it's interesting from that transition area, it looks like Jess is working smarter and not harder in some of these legs, which is definitely helping her. I mean, she's looks really experienced when it comes to these transitions and parts of the race.
So how about that swim from Jess Learmonth? She was probably 10 seconds back at the end of the run, but a great transition, a smart transition, and then a killer swim, and she's made up all that and more.
Yeah, I think Jess is literally saying, Georgia, you're going to do it to me on the run, I'm going to give it to you on the swim. It seems like there might be training partners when it comes to this race. I think there's some sharks here in these these two athletes.
Big group coming out now of the swim, and you can see just how quick they swam. It was 16 seconds going in. It's now 21 seconds coming out of the water, with Learmonth and Taylor Brown just streeting the field. So Jess Learmonth, not only did she swim probably 10 seconds faster than Georgia Taylor Brown, she probably swam nearly 20 seconds faster over 300 metres than the rest of the chasing pack, who could all work together on that one. And out they come again, the two Brits in front of the home crowd of sorts here in Jersey, and it's good to see them all turn out once again. And here we head out onto the bike for the second 4-kilometre stint. The Eagles have extended their lead at the front, and it's all thanks to Jess Learmonth just picking up a bunch of Jersey points. The Scorpions still sitting in second. The Cheetahs are holding off the Rhinos in the battle for the wooden spoon. We're going to keep an eye on that. It's 38 seconds from Clammer, Stanford, Holland, Caldwell, Spivey, Perio, Zafiris, Kingma, Potter and Beaugrand. So 10 women in that group. Where was the placement of Georgia Taylor Brown's running shoes? Did she get it right? Of course, we know that Jess Learmonth has a spare pair sitting right there. A better transition this time onto the run from Taylor Brown, and she'll head out first. Not only 4 Brits in the lead, but 5 in the top 6, with Sophie Caldwell there sitting behind, I think, Leonie Perio, and then Katie Zafiris had moved up into about 7th position. But they're all just chasing minor placings at the moment, as Learmonth has managed to attach herself to the back of Georgia Taylor Brown. I can tell you that the Italian Ilaria Zane has been eliminated, and Valerie Barthelemy was on the bubble. She squeaked in at 90 seconds across the mountain line, so she remains in for at least another lap. But the pace that these two women are going is not going to last long before we see the end of her, Emily Morier, Victoria Lopez, who are all very, very close if this pace keeps up at the front. This is the big question. Can Georgia Taylor Brown hold on to the feet of Jessica Learmonth in the third swim after what happened in the second swim? Did she push too fast in the run? And that's why she couldn't hold on last time around. Or, well, is Jess Learmonth just too fast? Well, Taylor Brown and Learmonth 40 seconds back to Holland, Perio, Potter, Stanford, Zafiris, Beaugrand, and then there's a mini gap of 4 seconds to Taylor Spivey, and then another gap back to Sophie Colwell, and then Rachel Clammer at 52 seconds adrift. So at the moment, it's these two, 1 and 2. It depends, well, you'd say you'd back Learmonth with 2 short shoots that are worth probably around 5 seconds each to take the win, barring any incident, depending on how things plan out. Anything can happen in a swim, bike and run. And there is Holland, who'll head into the water in third position from Perio, Potter. Zafiris is there as well with Stanford. There is Cassandra Beaugrand, Taylor Spivey,
Rachel
and
Klarman,
who is there at the end?
Sophie Caldwell,
Colwell.
and Rachel Klarman.
Yeah, and Clammer. So there's your group of 9.
Jess has just decided that she's gonna put her foot down on the accelerator. She knows she's got to go now. Little glance, well, that's just the head turn, isn't it? Over her shoulder there to see where Georgia is. But Georgia now really dropping off. And once you've lost contact, it gets tougher.
There is the gap between Jess Learmonth and Georgia Taylor Brown as they head up the cheese grater for the third time. And it's going to be, out of these two women, put another 10 seconds in your head that Jess Learmonth is leading, because she has both of those short shoots if you're just joining us. And Georgia Taylor Brown knows that she's going to have one of the great bike runs she has ever had if she's going to avoid being relegated to second for the 3rd week running.
I think she's absolutely going to put the hammer down on the bike. I can't see her really doing anything. We can see now she's already out of transition. Georgia just grabbing her bike now.
Yeah, Georgia nailed that transition right there. And I think she knows on the run she's going to have to go out like the clappers. I think to get away from Jessie on the bike is going to be very, very tough with all these, very tight corners and everything, and just being so strong. Oh, she must watch it. Oh, no, there was a crash again.
Oh, she's down again. She is down again. Georgia Taylor-Brown knew she had to do the job. And that is race 1, just about, for Jess Learmonth. She had a crash early in London. She's had another one here. She had a flat tire in the Olympics. She has not had the luck. And Georgia Taylor-Brown is down.
She was looking down here, not forwards. Luckily she didn't lose a toe there on
Schoolgirl error. Schoolgirl error.
I think just
there.
looking down, you could see. When I saw her looking down, I said, "Please look up," and she rode straight into it. And that's, things like this can happen. She's been down twice now in 2 races.
Let's not forget in London, Georgia Taylor-Brown, until she had that crash in London, she's been our only, faller, apart from Gillian Saunders, I think, in 3 races now. Both of them have been mistakes on her part. But in London, she was riding incredibly well. It looks to me like she's pulling a little bit back, but I think the distance is too far when you think they've only got 1 mile to run.
No, I think even if she does get up, onto the back of her, she's still got those 2 short shoots on the run that she has in her back pocket. But nothing is set in stone here until you cross that finishing line. So that's the one awesome thing about Super League. It's unpredictable. Anything can happen.
All right, 51 seconds in arrears now as this group fighting for 3rd position. And right now on the front is Non-Stanford. Taylor Spivey's moved her way up. No, she's going to need a big run. And when you look at all these women, and you can see Beth Potter there at the back, Beth Potter and Leonie Perriot, the 2 at the back of the bike, probably have the most superior runs. Cassandra Beaugrand, however, has run faster than Potter today. She's running at a 2:58 pace in the opening stage. Leonie Perriot ran a 2:56 in stage 1 pace, so she is at the top of the timesheets in terms of quick runs. So the run for the 3rd step of the podium is going to be a really interesting one between the powerhouse runners of short course triathlon in Perriot, Potter, Beaugrand, Zafiris. And all of them will be very eager to make sure they spray the champagne today in Jersey. There is your championship leader, your bike jersey leader, your swim jersey leader, and your race leader, Jessica Learmonth. And there in the background is Georgia Taylor-Brown, who is still paying for that mistake. Every single one of the women left in this race are in that pack who are fighting it out for the podium. What other racing than Super League racing would you see the person who is last in the race right now, who is Beth Potter, fighting it out for a podium? Jess Learmonth is 1.5 probably kilometres from another race win. 3 from 3 in a perfect September. So I'm hearing now that Georgia Taylor-Brown actually took a short shoot. So we understood that Jess had both, but I think she's made an error there, Georgia Taylor-Brown, thinking that because Jess Learmonth had 1 short shoot, it rolled down to the next athlete. But the rule actually states that Jess can take both those short shoots because there's 2 laps of the run. So we'll keep you updated as to what that means for Georgia Taylor-Brown. Jess Learmonth also took the short shoot in that opening lap, so whether or not Jess knows the rule and she knows she can take another one is a question we're going to have answered in 400 metres time. But we'll get an official ruling onto what happens with Georgia Taylor-Brown's short shoot and whether that disqualifies her or causes her a time penalty in this race. I've got confirmation now that Georgia Taylor-Brown will be disqualified in this race. She doesn't know it yet, but suddenly Georgia Taylor-Brown is out. She will drop right down the championship standings heading into Malibu, and that basically hands Jessica Learmonth the SLT championship title. She can have a good race next week, and she'll find out about that after the race. Meantime, Vicky Holland, Non-Stanford, Taylor Spivey, Sophie Colwell, Leonie Perriot, Cassandra Beaugrand, Katie Zafiris and Rachel Clammer and Beth Potter are fighting it out for second and third position, and Georgia Taylor-Brown will be stopped on this lap. So watch out for that. There she is in the background. I'm hearing she's going to be stopped, and there is the elimination flag for Taylor-Brown. She doesn't think it's for her, but it is, and she's wondering what the problem is. And she's saying, I can take the short shoot. What are you talking about? So she's been showing the yellow flag. She's not going to stop racing, though, and she's going to argue the point afterwards.
I have my heart in my mouth for her. I really do.
This is horrible to watch.
We're looking now at Vicky Holland. She's leading the way, technically in second position, I think we can say, because Georgia Taylor-Brown has been thrown out of the race. Cassandra Beaugrand on her heels. Leonie Perriot from France sitting in fourth.
This is the battle for second position as it stands, pending an appeal from Georgia Taylor-Brown. And Vicky Holland continues to impress across this September, leading from Cassandra Beaugrand, widely considered the best runner in short course, and Leonie Perriot, the two French women who obviously grew up in French Grand Prix racing, know how to race these distances and helped take France to a mixed team relay bronze medal in Tokyo about 6 odd weeks ago. So it's fair to say all three of us in commentary are gutted for Georgia Taylor-Brown, but at the moment we can shelve all of that because we just need to celebrate how strong Jess Learmonth is. She had 2 short shoots, she used one, she doesn't know now whether she needs to take the other one. It's not going to matter in the end anyway because she is going to run away to another victory. 3 from 3. There is the finishing line, and the fans here in Jersey absolutely loves it. She takes the other short shoot for good measure. She deserves it too, and here she comes down the black carpet. Big crowd here in Jersey. Beautiful day, and they're loving the fact that Jess Learmonth is your winner again. She raises the black tape. Jess Learmonth, the winner in London, the winner in Munich, and now the winner in Jersey. Georgia ran the short shoot loop an extra time to add the extra distance, so that may make a difference. We'll let you know as that happens. She did an extra loop. She asked the question. At the moment, she thinks she's in second. It's not fun to watch, and it's Cassandra Beaugrand after, honestly, a couple of really flat weeks and a tough 2021, punctuated by a bronze medal, of course, in the Olympics. She shows her run form. She runs past Vicky Holland. Cassandra Beaugrand picks up a podium spot, and she has earned it. Look at that.
I don't actually know what's happened. Has she been eliminated, or I wasn't sure whether I was getting the short shoot because they said on the commentary when we were coming through on the first lap that me and Georgia had got one. So I was confused thinking, have I got one or she got one? And it wasn't until coming in, Tim Don shouted to me saying that I got 2.
I can also update you right now on Georgia Taylor-Brown. She has been awarded second place at Jersey 2021 following an appeal from the technical committee. There she is right now. She was disqualified for incorrectly taking the short shoot. However, she made up the distance before the end of the final run, and it didn't interfere with the other athletes, so therefore she continues on her championship run.
All of which means that at the end of the women's event, well, we can show you the official leaderboard, and Georgia Taylor-Brown is sitting there still within striking distance. 3 second places put her 3 points adrift of Jess Learmonth, who's on a perfect 45. A big gap back to a 3-way race for third in the championship between Vicky Holland, Beth Potter and Katie Zafiris. Taylor Spivey a further 4 points back from Sophie Colwell, Leonie Perriot. Cassandra Beaugrand, a vastly improved performance, puts her into the top 10 ahead of Rachel Clammer.